What's going on, buddies? Concert buddy. Figured I'd drop a quick video to show you some recent pickups and acquisitions to the record collection. So sit back and kick up your feet, get them eyes ready to witness some sweet, sweet, sweet pickups coming at you now. All right, buddies, just going to hit you with some quick video content. Going to show some recent pickups. I wouldn't exactly call them vinyl hauls, more like vinyl finds. Things I've picked up either in my travels or things that I found online, or even a couple pre-orders. And then I'm going to speak about a new vinyl subscription service that I'm dipping my toes in the bathwater, and I got my first shipment. So I'm going to show you what I ordered and kind of give you my first impression thoughts of this service. So let's get into it. All right, so before you are laughing hysterically, let me walk you through this one. This is obviously Creed Human Clay. This was their only official release on vinyl up until, I think, 2 years ago. They put out a greatest hits record, found at your local Walmart. Insert joke there. But, I mean, this is college music to me, so I've always had an affinity. Mark Tremonti, I think he's a tremendous guitar player. Even Scott Stapp, a decent singer. That's all I'm going to say.
Are you kidding me?
But I do enjoy the band. I enjoy Alter Bridge a lot too, post-Creed work. But this one's always been on my list, but it was always that $100 mark and plus that I just couldn't reach up. It wasn't something that I was that excited to pick up, particularly because these, novelty pressings back in the early 2000s, late 90s kind of era were more done for novelty. The mastering sometimes is hit or miss. It definitely probably comes from a digital source more times than not. But I found this, as you can see, a price tag, it says $20. I was actually, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I went up to Springfield, Illinois, just to get out of the house and, do something different. It's Martin Luther King Day, so we had the day off from work, both of us. So up in Springfield, just doing some odds and ends. And, I was like, hey, what kind of record shops are in the area? I actually follow one on my Instagram. I believe it's called Dumb Records, Dumb Rex. But I didn't even think about checking Instagram. It was just literally that kind of spur of the moment. Like, hey, any record stores in the area kind of thing. And the one that came up in my immediate feed, I think it went on Yelp, was a place called Recycled Records. And the shop was very interesting. The Cliff Notes version is the building was, I think, from the 1912, used to be a hardware store. The family still owned it. The owner was very gracious, gave us a quick tour. A lot of the records were actually upstairs. It was a very interesting and very mature building. I'll just leave it at that. But I went in very low expectations. But then as I saw the records around me, they had some record store day releases. They had some newer releases, some dead stock that I ended up picking up a couple pieces there. So all in all, pleasant surprise, this being the chief among them, to find this. And I thought maybe it was the recent repress. I think Craft Recordings repressed this maybe 2017, I want to say, which I have a copy of that one. Sounds pretty good because obviously they put a little bit more effort into the mastering and so forth. But with this one on my list for a while, at that $100 price point, I mean, finding it for $20 felt like a big win. It is the 1999, I believe, release that I had been searching for, and to find it for $20, big win. I'd definitely be checking out the Recycled Record store. Happy to pick this one up. Let's check out the next one. All right, so I got this record. This is John Mellencamp, self-titled. This features, obviously, Still in Shrink. Features Your Life Is Now is probably the big hit off of here. I kind of got into a John Mellencamp. I go into these waves, these phases that I get really into an artist. I did it with Lionel Richie a couple years ago. I did it with Mellencamp a couple years ago. I've seen Mellencamp in concert a long time ago, probably close to 20 years ago. But I've always had an affinity for his music. I think he's kind of slept on when it comes to the singer-songwriter genre, particularly like his real, I guess, his hit window from early 80s up until the 2000s. Like Bruce Springsteen gets a lot more acclaim than Mellencamp. I think they actually even recently collaborated for a new song on I think it's Mellencamp's new album, pretty sure. But long story short, I kind of got into picking up some of the releases that are not very common. and this was one of them. I found this online on Discogs, decent price, shrink, Columbia label, everything you're looking for. Sounds pretty good, so good pickup. Glad to add it to the collection, and I'm still searching for some other Mellencamp. I call them rarities, but things that are a little bit more uncommon than the common releases. So on to the next. Okay, so this record, Before You Laugh, this Bloodsport soundtrack, not something that I ever thought would come into my collection, but Waxwork Records, who does a tremendous job doing soundtracks, remastering, taking old tapes, movies that were obscure in the 80s and 90s, and giving them new life through really high quality pressing, color variants. This one is red, and I believe the other side is kind of like a brown to kind of match the Van Damme coloring, the front cover here, but thick stock sleeves, great art inside. Even show you the inside. I mean, you can't top like the actual work that goes into this product is top notch. I mean, premium product, premium price, of course, but this was something that, let's call it a vanity purchase, mainly because like I really enjoy the synth sound of some of these early, like I guess late 80s, early 90s kind of fighting movies, Van Damme movies in particular. So this wasn't something that I had to have, as more of a nice to have, but high quality. If you follow me again on Instagram, I did post a quick video on this one just to play the sound. It sounds tremendous. Waxwork really does fine work, and I mean, what else can you say? I mean, this is 80s, 90s cheese at its best, so happy to pick this up. All right, so some more joking. This is probably a comedy video. With first I lead off with Creed, now I'm showing a Walmart exclusive record, but this is obviously Stone Temple Pilots' debut album, Core. I'm actually kind of nerding out and trying to collect all versions and copies and mastering and you name it of the Stone Temple Pilots catalog. I've got, I think, 3 or 4 different pressings of this record. This one came out and sold out like instantly. I want to say probably 6 to 9 months ago. So I was kind of bummed, but recently it came to my attention that this was put back in stock, and also Stone Temple Pilots Purple, which I think is actually delivering today from my friends at FedEx, and I wouldn't say my friends at Walmart, but from Walmart, on the blue splatter white variant. So this one is a black and red variant. Again, with these 90s records, digital source, you know, like turn them up, the volume sounds pretty good, particularly the louder you get, you can kind of unlock some of that mastering that wasn't really put into, I would say put it a premium or put into focus more when they were doing these records. You know, again, like a lot of Alice in Chains catalog, very similar, like all the early 90s kind of alt stuff, unless it was done by like a Bernie Grundman or done with some real mastering pros. You know, it's going to be hit or miss on how these things sound. But again, let's call it another vanity purchase. I'm trying to get all these STP copies, and so I was happy to add this to the collection. So the last thing I'm going to talk about is this, I guess it's new to me, subscription service. I'm going to try to hide my information so I don't get any kind of crazy stuff going on. It's called Bandbox. I don't know if it's Bandbox or just Bandbox Records, but it's in the style of Vinyl Me Please, in the sense that they have exclusive colored pressings, variants. The initial catalog looks very similar to some of the other record clubs out there, like Magnolia Record Club, like primarily fueled by independent artists, so I think the licensing premiums probably aren't as high. But they actually had this soundtrack that recently came out. I'm sure you can't hear me because I'm bending over. Vanilla Sky, this Tom Cruise movie, Camera Crow movie. I was seeing this being released for like $40, $50. There was no way I was going to go up to that. But this exclusive colorway, it was 500 copies through Bandbox. I was a little disappointed. It did come with some nice seam splitting here, just a little bit. You know, I think that's less of a testament about how these things are packed and shipped, because I think the shipper you just saw was pretty accommodatable. It's just more of these companies that are producing, if it's not a Stoughton jacket, or it's not high quality paper stock, you're seeing a lot more seam splits, particularly in transit, because these records, one, they weigh more. They're usually between 140 and 180 grams. And two, the paper just sucks. I'm just going to be candid. So haven't listened to this one yet, but this was the first thing that kind of lent me to find out what Bandbox was all about, and I got, I think, an introductory price of, I think, all in $22 shipped. So for a soundtrack that I was kind of lukewarm about to begin with, I mean, you have some pretty decent artists. You got R.E.M. on here. You got Maka, Paul McCartney, Radiohead. So from a names perspective, I mean, there's Nancy Wilson, obviously tie into Camera Crow there, but be able to pick this up for $22, good score, exclusive variant, good score. So then I decided to go ahead and try the service. And again, very similar to how Vinyl Me Please first started. This service is, you have some selections you can pick from the store if you want a store selection for your monthly selection. I believe it's $29 a month shipped, so it's cheaper than Vinyl Me Please is now. Very similar to how Vinyl Me Please was when they started. If you don't select a record, they will select one for you, which I don't remember if I filled out a survey at the beginning. It's, you know, it can go one of two ways. It can be a complete disaster, or it could be something that's a pleasant surprise. So I will say that one thing to note is that they actually allow you to exchange. If you get the record and you don't like it, you do have an option to send it back and get something else. So I do give them credit for doing that. I think that's a great service to the customer base. But the record they did send me was, so they sent me, I guess this is the new Silver Sun Pickups record. So again, you have another exclusive color variant. So this is something that, you know, like I probably wouldn't have wanted to pick up or tried to pick up at my local shop, because, you know, I have a very passing experience with this band. But, you know, for $29 and to give this subscription service a shot, I figured why not. And then one thing that sets them apart, obviously outside of the price structure and the color variants, is they include these like magazines, and I guess they do them themselves. This one was the one that accompanied the Vanilla Sky record, and then this one is the one that came with the Silver Swan Pickups records, which I think is a nice touch. I think if we have some early Vinyl Me Please subscribers watching this video, I think you can relate that Vinyl Me Please did something similar in that they used to include like an art insert in with your records, and it usually had like a drink recipe. So I think eventually, fearless prediction, Bandbox, unless they take the price up, this will probably just move to novelty now, not something that would be a long-standing add-in, because obviously there's going to be a cost component to that. And I say that not because Bandbox will do that and I have it on good authority. I'm just speculating because I feel that's what happened to Vinyl Me Please. They went from including those art inserts with the drink recipe to then changing it to these little faux Obi strips that, I mean, I don't know, kind of weak sauce. I'm just gonna be honest. I've had a tumultuous experience with Vinyl Me Please.
People get very mean over priceless things.
Box. I'm gonna stick with them for a little bit. I've got another record on order with them, and kind of give them a shot, because I think the more companies and services providing these type of exclusive and this type of different product to the vinyl community, I think is a value add, and anything I can do to contribute to that and get good product back for, I think is a win-win. So any Bandbox subscribers out there, what are your thoughts? Tell me down below in the comments. Tell me what you think about some of these pickups. Cheese-tastic, obviously, some of the titles that I've shown today, but anything that you guys are interested in, comments, feedback, like, subscribe, all the bells and whistles, and until next week, if you get a chance, just spin it. See ya.
Well, well, well. How the turntables...
Well, we out of time.